So, you've done the impossible. Sure, you've defeated the big bad, you've saved the world, and now you want to retire to enjoy the fruits of your heroism, but that's not what I'm talking about. No, silly. The impossible thing is that you got a group of friends together to play an entire D&D campaign over dozens of sessions. But also, yeah, the other stuff too. So, how do you wrap up a long session like this, giving your characters a proper send-off, or launch a new one with characters that you've been itching to play? Today on HorseTube D&D, I'm going to be giving you a bunch of different ideas to wrap up campaigns, launch the new ones, and provide some downtime activities for your table if they want to take a break from saving the world and just kind of sit back and relax a little bit on a lower stakes adventure. So, why don't you just sit back, relax, and get ready to have a good old-fashioned rat hunt today on Straight from the Horse's Mouth. Long story short, today is just going to be a few ideas to help you wrap up a campaign after the big climax. You've won, you've beaten the villain, but now you have to say goodbye to what might be some of your favorite characters. Characters that you may have been playing for a year or even more. So how do you say goodbye? There's two main methods I want to touch on today, and the first one is simple. Ask each player a few interesting questions about their character, like what they would do immediately after this quest, over the next few years, and maybe if they have any big plans or relationships to pursue. Give them each a few minutes to kind of wind down that character's story. Everyone loves a good epilogue, and that's essentially what we're doing here. Honestly, I recommend this even for short campaigns and one-shots, but give it extra care and time for a longer campaign. Secondly, give them a few low-stakes missions and quests to help integrate back into being normal people. Let them travel back to town and be attacked by some bandits who are about to have the absolute worst possible day. Or, let them haggle for the price of the land that they want to buy with the lord who owns it but very much owes them. Let them roleplay their retirement. This can be especially useful if your party isn't quite ready to say goodbye yet, but honestly it's just a lot of fun to have a bit of a victory lap with your demigod characters as they transition back into being normal people and worrying about where they're going to import coffee from. Even if your campaign is not ending, everyone needs a beach episode or a shopping episode every now and then. So here are a few low-stakes plot hooks that you can use to build some lighter sessions on, or even interesting one-shots or campaign launches. A new restaurant has opened up in the next town over, and it sounds absolutely fabulous. Good food mixed with illusory magic gives a perfectly curated dining experience. The waiting list is already filling up fast, so get on it. This could be a really fun alternative to the classic You Meet in a Tavern that has launched so many campaigns before, or just be a nice fun downtime activity for your more experienced players. Next up, NPC Jane is pretty sure that her fiancé John is cheating on her because he sneaks off at all hours of the night. Jane doesn't realize that he's practicing an instrument so that he can play for her and hopefully in the local tavern as well to earn some extra coin. He is currently exceptionally mediocre. The local holiday festival is coming up, and travelers will soon be pouring in from all over. Volunteers are needed for games, food, and of course for security. Probably nothing worse than throwing out a few drunken troublemakers, but there just might be a pickpocket among the crowd. Now, this one could easily be adapted into a bigger hook too by adding a bad thing that happens. The newest elected mayor NPC has gone missing. Clues point towards the next town over where they will eventually be found taking a brief vacation. They wrote it down on their calendar, but unfortunately forgot that they are the only one who actually reads that calendar, and, well, nobody else saw it. This could easily tie into a larger corruption plot, but as it stands, it was just a miscommunication. Several chickens have gone missing from the Jenkins farm. They are suspicious that it's a fox, but it turns out to be something far worse. 2 foxes. A fox hunt or a relocation program is recommended. I ran a similar version of this where a fairy dragon had gotten stuck in Toril and had to resort to eating pies from a local couple. I expected my players to obliterate him, but they just caught him in a net and promised to get him back to the Feywild if he stuck around. And that's how they got Jarnax, the fairy dragon, as their own little personal pie thief. But I digress, on to the next hook. The adventurer's favorite chair, or anyone's chair really, is wiggly and creaks in just the worst possible note whenever they sit in it. Off to collect supplies for a DIY repair, or track down a woodworker for professional maintenance. It has to be fixed now. If someone else hires them for this, put the professional in the next town over, build a sad backstory for the old man who needs his chair, and throw in an encounter with wolves. Boom. I just wrote your first 2 sessions for free. You're welcome. Up next, the Witchlight Carnival is in the area. It sounds like a grand spectacle and a lot of fun, and that's because it is. Mingle with strange fae folk, watch out for pickpockets, and get your fortunes read. And also enjoy some weird food and candies as you watch the best acrobats in the Feywild perform daring feats of bravery. There's also one of those high dive guys who dives into a pool that's way too small. It's a Harengon, and he's just really good at what he does. Oh, and his mom's a fortune teller, and they both invite the party to dinner. A new group of adventurers comes to the party looking for advice and guidance as they strike out, seeking fame and fortune and maybe a sponsorship. This would be a fantastic way to send off some high-level characters into retirement, introduce a new campaign with some NPC guidance, or potentially transition an entire campaign from one generation into the next. Anyway, these are just a few game hooks for you to use as you see fit, straight from the horse's mouth. I originally intended these to be just about game wrap-ups, but honestly, most of these would make a great way to start games too, so I ended up tweaking the video a little bit along the way. On a related note, I've been thinking about running a couple of level 0 games just as a way to build into a level 1 campaign and make the game kind of feel a little bit more real and a little more grounded. Gotta work out a system for it first, but it might be a really fun introduction to play a character where a wolf attack will literally one-shot you. Maybe not, that doesn't quite sound all that fun. Anyway, we'll see. So like, subscribe, and do the various YouTube junk for me, stay hydrated, and eat some grass. Bye!